What's up? It's the Loot Pictures Squad back at you with another TikTok reaction video. We're actually kind of old, and TikTok is like a weird new thing for us, which is strange because we're like near 30, but there's like this new kind of media platform, and people are making cool filmmaking things on it, and we feel like old fuddy-duddies, so let's get our reactions on.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what. I'll go first.
Hi, so I work in the film industry. I'm a film director and editor. And when I was just starting out, I got this piece of advice from another film director that I thought was just so amazing, and I think about it all the time. Ask people how they want to be directed. So if you're working with like an actor, ask them how they want to be directed. If you're working with an editor or a score composer, ask them how they would like you to direct them. And this is a really cool concept because being a director is all about communication. And so you're communicating trust and you're letting your collaborators know that you value them. I think this is also really cool for other industries. So anytime that you're managing or instructing people, maybe take a step back and ask them, how do you want me to manage you? How do you want me to direct you? How do you want me to instruct you? Some people like a more hands-on boss. Some people need a little bit more hand-holding. And I've never heard any other director use this strategy, but I think it's really cool. I don't know.
That's very good.
I think the key takeaway from this is transparency, and communication.
Good communication, yeah.
Because sometimes they can nail on you, because sometimes when you say something like that, then they feel like you don't know how to lead. But I think if you just tell them, no, it's like how you want to just
exactly.
get the feel of how they operate and stuff. I think,
Yeah, I think it's easy to get scared that people are going to think that you don't know what you're doing because you're asking. But it's that's also why I like to spend a little bit of time with actors before, even if it's just like a day or even before set, getting there earlier and then speaking to people. I've never asked somebody, how do you want me to direct you?
they just answer,
Which is
direct me good.
I've always like been like speaking to them and then trying to like figure it out for myself. But I think it's cool if you can just be direct with your actors be direct and then do direct.
The worst is if
You don't always have to, I think if you're worried about them thinking, oh, they don't know what they're doing, I suppose you don't have to ask them directly, like, how do you want to be directed? You could use like other language, saying the same thing, like, how should we like approach this, you know?
And
or what do you think?
Yeah, and just like try and spend more time with them, just trying to gauge their kind of personality and like how they operate. And I think, particularly it's not just for like actors. Like I think you need to get on that level if possible with like almost everyone on your crew, just so that you can have that everyone can be on that same page and that there's this open communication with every level of the production. I think that's always a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as we said in a podcast, I said in a podcast recently was when we were talking about auteur directors and how you should not do that, is because when you have to consider something that I feel like she's saying as well, is that each person is different and each person has like a different way of going about things. So you need to learn. You can't just, one thing.
Yeah. No blanket statements in filmmaking.
Yeah, except if you're talking about blankets.
Yes. All right.
Daryll's filmmaking tip. I recently made a short film all by myself. From that experience, I learned that simplicity really is the key. That short film only consisted of one actor, one setting, and only 5 different shots edited together. Although it was very simple to make, a lot of people enjoyed it and thought that it had a great story. So instead of trying to create a short film with extravagant setting, a lot of complex characters, and different fancy camera angles and camera moves, instead try to learn how to create the best possible story with the least amount of work required, because more work does not always equal a better story. Nice.
Noise.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, that's what we've been saying. We've been saying that forever.
Well, especially starting out, like I think later in your career, you can obviously be like, you want to add this and this and this when you have the experience. But I think starting out, that's perfect advice. I always say like try and keep it simple. Like that's why all my short films when I started were also like try to keep it to one location, one room. Also because back then you didn't have budget. and film school would say one location. But I'm saying in general, even with other short films, I try to keep it simple. So I think that's really great advice. So nice.
And simple doesn't mean like less effective or less powerful, or that's not the meaning of simple.
Yeah. Cool.
You see this thing? It's a thumbs up. Why don't you give us one of those? It'll really help us with the algorithm and other things. So smash that like, touch it, just just press it, whatever you want to do, as long as there's a like left at the end of this video. Thanks.
Filmmaking facts that you probably don't know. Animated films like Inside Out are actually full of imperfection. For example, in this shot, for a second, the camera goes out of focus. While in the real world, whenever the camera goes out of focus, that's usually a human error. However, in animated films like these, they actually take extra steps to purposefully create these errors or imperfections. This is because these imperfections are what create a sense of being natural or realistic. It's actually a very fascinating and inspiring reminder for us that imperfections are important parts of our lives. Nice!
Nice. I like this guy, man. Be friends with this person.
Daryll, Lender,
yeah, like I've seen in a couple of animations also like similarly where like if the person falls or something, they also add the camera shake and the camera blur and all that. Like they said, yeah, those imperfections really do help sell it and just make it feel more grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very good Nerd Writer video on Toy Story 4, I think.
I was about to say.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, where they like an animation, it doesn't really exist except in your computer, so you can literally make it perfect and pristine. But what good animation directors do is that they add these imperfections or these like aberrations or whatever in there, even though it doesn't have to be there, and then it like makes it more real, and then you connect more with the story.
Like they'll replicate like a specific lens, but everything about that lens, like as you were saying, like little imperfections, aberrations, that type of thing. Because it's like it's like kind of what we used to, but yeah, it's like that memory sort of association with things.
I think just to jump on that point, like it's funny because it's not like trying to make it more real, like real world, trying to make it more familiar to film. If that makes sense. So it's because I think because if they did that, it would feel like you're just watching kind of like a real life kind of thing. But I think that trying to, like you said, activate that memory of a film kind of feeling is, I think, the cool part. And not just animations I've seen, okay, well, it's also animation, but like also like the 2D cartoon drawing stuff I've seen also in animes where they try to replicate lens framing and stuff like to get like warping when it's a wider lens and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool, and I think it's really helpful techniques for animation. So yeah, spot on. I like you, man. Nice.
I filmed an actual commercial at home. So a few weeks back, I was hired to market an eyebrow hair remover, so I threw together a makeshift set with a couple bed sheets and got to work. For this shot, yes, that is a fidget spinner. I wanted to give a pen an illusion of flying through the air and just mass it out while editing. For this closing sequence, I just took a bunch of shots with a pen in random places and stitched them together. Without further ado, here is the final commercial.
Let's go!
Damn, son. I enjoyed that. That was really cool, and that cuts to the music was also really, really nice. Now she's a pro. That's really good. Like feel like I'm looking up to filmmakers now. Not even
Ash has a camera. Ash has a camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow this person. Like, I feel like it's not even fair for me to react to some of these people because like filmmaking is like quite above my own standards where I would be right now. So that was amazing.
I feel like a lot of the style was also born out of like TikTok and Vine and Instagram and all these like places we have to get so much information in like a small
amount of time.
Nice.
Normal people versus filmmakers. Part 1, apple picking. Let's go.
So funny.
That's so good. You know what's the best? Like is when they pull it off to make it look really like so cinematic. Like they get it on point. Man. That was so good. Like I think that's for me. I always just get that jabs at Peter McKinnon always, and I see those kind of things. Man, he's like loves his B-roll like that, dude. So that was so good.
That's hilarious. But can you imagine watching Can you imagine if someone like that, with that style, I'm not saying, obviously this guy's like taking the piss out of it, but I always think like, what if you make an entire film? 90 minutes, of just like...
Even when they're talking, just like, yuck.
It's so true.
Oh,
It's so
that was
true.
good.
Now, what would you do to hide a lavalier on these pair of sunglasses?
So I would use the arm of the sunglass to kind of string a lav right on the side using some of this lovely Joe's sticky stuff. Using this beige, very small lavalier, you just kind of stick the capsule right against it. And the harder you press on this stuff, the stickier and more effective it is. So once we have two pieces placed, we don't want to go farther because that's where the ear will be, and the ear will hold the rest of the wire in place.
Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Now, why would you do this over some other techniques?
So again, in a situation, if an actress is wearing a bikini, something with very little hiding room on the clothing, sunglasses also pair well with a bikini. You're outside by a pool or on a beach, so that's one of the biggest reasons, just lack of clothing to hide the mic, and you have this wonderful prop right on the actor's face where it's close to the sound source.
That's awesome.
Dang.
I never thought of that. I mean, I've seen them put like in a tie, but I've never thought about like women's clothing specifically, because that's crazy.
And I mean, you can still pull that off even with a guy that's
Oh, yeah,
also
just
topless as well.
topless, yeah.
That's really cool. I like that they use. Who was that actress that they used? That's what.
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, I like how they use that one shot to be like, this is the example.
This is
but
way
yeah,
more
no,
cool.
that's super interesting, man. Joe sticky stuff.
And it
man,
also
man.
it keeps the hair from hitting the microphone as well. So the only thing I would worry about is like maybe if there's wind, but I think
At least it has a
probably
tiny bit of a wind guard.
Yeah,
I
as
like
well.
you use that kind of size sunglasses.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
super
yeah.
interesting.
Whoa.
This is nice variety of selections here, man. This is cool. I like
Sound
this.
people, dude.
Yeah, they're geniuses.
Let's just stick the camera there.
Today we're working with Bon, and he's a personal trainer, and we're shooting in his basement. So it just proves to you that you don't need a huge studio or a huge budget when you're starting out to create great content. Here's the example in the final
Hey,
look.
welcome to Bontrand Fitness, week 6, program 4. Fast and effective workout right here, right now. We will start with high knees.
The cool thing about this is, for that ending wide shot, is that you can literally, if you light your background evenly, you can literally just cut out the side, so you don't need a space that's like as big, and then you can just like scale it down later, and then you can just film like a normal shot.
Extended.
Yeah.
Graphics around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they used our studio, man. It looked almost identical. Yeah, no, I think because we've shot also quite a few things and like something smaller than that as well. So, yeah, you don't need a massive studio for things like that. Like, I think you can get away with things like that starting out, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. So these are like popular kinds of videos, right? You like these. You like watching reactions, right? So subscribe. I think that's a fair bargain. We react to things that other people made. We had no say in. And then you watch us, watch them, and then hit subscribe. Sounds good?
It's only fair.
It's only fair. Like, we're spending all this time. It's free. Yeah?
I love these, man. I want to save all of these. Like, it's legit because I've been on so many things where, like, a client asked me, he's like, Kaylin, look at this. Like, it was for a music video. They're like, look at this Backstreet Boys music video. Why don't we have something like this? I was like, they have that money. Like, they don't understand. Like, look at that makeup artist. I was like, what, you couldn't pay us for the makeup artist.
It's like, I'm paying you. Doesn't matter the amount. I'm paying you, so do what I want.
Exactly. And they're like, why doesn't it look like this movie or this? And you're like, the budget.
Do you know how much they spent on that shot?
Exactly, because that's why I always try to lead them away to like that other guy was saying, keep it simple and using that as your advantage of the simplicity of it,
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize how expensive things are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In general. Okay.
Hey, sorry to interrupt your playback experience. Let me take a look at what's going on. Pardon the mainframe again. You mind liking the video for me?
Solid, man.
Yeah, that's very, very good. You can see that this is all green screen, because if you look at his like foot, the shadow and stuff doesn't really match. which also makes the door opening much easier to do because you can just literally like anchor point and then rotate. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. Very cool. What's it? Original, authentic. I think so.
Sounds like a KFC advert, original.
Original
This guy does a lot of like optical illusion type videos.
Yeah, sometimes he has some real like brain teasing things with some of the stuff.
Cool. I like the
Selma
was
Hayek
like-
thing in the beginning.
Oh, the Frida Kahlo thing. Yeah, that was great. No, I mean the fact that it had the name of the transition, then like a one sentence description and an example.
Oh, right, yeah.
Usually there's like too much information or too little information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some beeps on TikTok. Man.
Yeah, so that's all of them.
So that's it for this reaction video. I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to be doing a couple more coming up. So if you want to catch those, don't forget to like and subscribe. So especially subscribe if you want to catch more. And if you want to see more videos similar to this or where we just talk about general filmmaking, go through our previous videos and maybe you might find something you like. But until next time, God there, stay safe.
And make your movie.